Imagine waking up one morning to the news that that job that you have worked so hard for is no longer your job. It's not because you do something wrong. It's not because you do anything to trigger for the job not to be yours, but it's because the rules or the laws has just changed overnight. Today we are talking about a shocking situations that are currently happening now. There is a massive deportation going on right now for migrants. When I said massive, it's massive deportation for migrants. Either you are an asylum or either you are under a work visa. There is a lot of deportation going on now for different reasons. One of them are the tube stations staff. You know, when we're using the underground train station, that is, I'm talking about UK here to be precise, you normally see staff who are cleaners, that is, they are cleaning the underground stations. You have engineer staff who are checking to see if the tracks are okay. When you are sleeping at night, those staff will be the one working with those tracks to see that London is safe. And sometimes you have staff who are also responsible for the safety of the passenger who are using the trains. You see them, they will be organizing to see you don't go over the tracks. It's for your own safety. And also you have staff who are basically there because in the UK here, we have a high rate of mental health patients. And most of these mental health patients, sometimes they go to the train stations, those who are high risk of suicidal ideation. So you have those staff who are presently there to support this patient or this service user who are on the high risk of suicidal ideation to prevent them from jumping over the trains. Most of these staff are migrants coming from either Asia, Africa, or wherever they find themselves. Just consider them, they are all migrants, just working so that they can have their daily bread. Some of them have families here, some of them already have children, and some of them have already called here, UK, as their own home. They've already started their life here. And some of them came with a work visa with a 2 years visa contract, hoping that at the end of that 2 years contract, they will now renew their visa again. But now this has changed. This new government policy has changed just overnight. Now, you know, when these migrants were applying for that work visa to come here to the UK to work, you know, family and friends and relatives that lives here in the UK can sponsor them to come here to work in the UK. But now that has already changed. Now the government policy, that is the new current policy now for migrants who are wishing to apply for a visa, that has already changed. Before you can apply for your next visa application, or if you want to renew your visa application now, you have to have a minimum wages of more than 41,000 K. Seriously? You have to have more than 41,000 pounds as your income wages per year. Now you tell me, what type of job can you do in order for you to earn that 41,000 K in the UK here? If you're not a skilled worker, if you don't have that high paid degree job, because this job that this tube staff are doing, they are all minimum wages. They are minimum wages. So that means, does that mean that this tube staff has to go and look for a high paid job in order for them to earn that 41,000 per year for them to apply or reapply for their visa or to renew their visa? Where would they get that kind of high paid job for them to reapply? So if they can't get that high paid job for them to earn that 41,000 pounds per year, that means there's only one thing left, is deportation. They have to be deported, because either you find what the government says either you have this minimum wage per year for you to be eligible for a visa renewal or be deported. So that's the only way. So that means that all of our tube staff that are currently making sure that the tube station are safe, the tube station are clean, people are safe when maneuver the train station, ensuring that passengers are safe. Some are working during the night just to ensure that the tracks are safe whilst we are sleeping. And some are working long hours to ensure that the tube stations are safe. And one of these migrant worker working for the tube station, when they interviewed him, do you know what he said? He said it's like the government used them after when they've worked so hard. Some of them worked during the pandemic. Remember when we had the COVID pandemic during 2020 to 2022? They were working day and night just to ensure that they keep London safe. And then at the end of the day, they used them, then they told them, your service is no longer needed. So that means they have been used, said this worker. And he also said that he's got 2 children here in the UK. One is already schooling and one is still young. And where would he go with his own family? He's got his wife here. He's got his children here. Where will they go if they drive them, if they push them, if they deport them? Where would he go with his family? Because to him, it says that he can't afford to find a higher paying job that will earn him 41,000 per year. He doesn't have that. So that means the only choice he has now is risk of being deported. That's the only solution he has now. And when this case was reported to the union, that is the union, the RMT, who are in charge of transport for London, when this was reported to them, they campaigned, they tried their level best, they did a lot of campaigning so that they can support or safeguard these migrants. But the supporters of this government, what did they say? They said they are creating jobs for British people. So on the other hand, what the supporters of the government say is that they are trying to reduce migration. That means they are trying to deport a lot of migrants back to their country so that there will be enough jobs for British people. So in that sense, this massive deportation is something that has already been put in place. They wanted to deport a lot of migrants so that there will be a lot of opportunities, that is a lot of jobs opportunities for British people. So in another news at the moment that is currently happening now, do you know those asylum seekers, especially those who are coming using the boat? I don't know, a lot of us have heard these stories where migrants are coming to the UK via boat. Sometimes these boats can have accidents on the way. So those who are lucky enough to get into the UK from the boat and seeking asylum, the current issue now, those asylum seekers, any one of them that committed a crime, they will be deported. Currently now, as we're speaking, there is a new scheme that has been put in place by the government, which stated deport now and appeal later. That means if you cause any crime, if you engage yourself into any crime, if you committed any crime, you will never appeal. So forget about human rights. What the scheme says to the human right is they will still deport you, then you can appeal later. So there is no way you can stay here. Immediately you cause crime, cause havoc, you will be deported. for that crime that you did. That is for those who are into crimes. When you committed a crime, you will be deported straight away, and then you can appeal later. Before, when you committed a crime, you can go to court, then the human rights can grant you the access to appeal if they want to sentence you, or if they want to deport you, or any court rule, you have the right to appeal. And then they will adjourn the case, and the judges can look into that appeal and then come to an agreement. But now that has been changed. If you commit a crime, you will be deported. And then they said you can appeal later. Tell me true. How can you appeal when you are back home? Where would you get the money? Whose lawyer who's going to stand for you? So this is a reminder for all immigrants living in the UK. There is a massive, massive deportation going on now. The government is trying to reduce immigration in the UK. And I don't think it's just the UK. I think it's all over the Western world. They're trying to reduce migration. So if you enter into any crime, you will be at risk of being deported. And when you get deported, you will not appeal here. When you go back home, that is when you're gonna do your appealing. And trust me, where is the lawyer who is going to stand for you? And where is the money you're going to pay that lawyer for you to appeal? So that means there is no even sense of you appealing, because you won't have that right when you are back home. So be warned, be careful. When you're here in the UK, don't involve yourself into crime. You will be at risk of being deported back home. And that will be the end of it. So what do you think about this update? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And please don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss out in any of these real stories updates. I will see you on the next video. Take care now. Love you all. Bye.